Okay, we're here with Indiana State women's basketball coach Joey Wells. We're here at Media Day in St. Louis, and Joey, we're about 2.5 weeks out, and just tell me about the development of your team at this point. It's an interesting cast of characters. You got a lot of veteran players, but a lot of veteran players who played a lot last year, but who will probably have a bigger role. And then, of course, you have some new players coming in. Just tell me how things are meshing and where you guys are at right now.
Yeah, they're meshing great. Our returners have done a great job in taking our incoming players under their wing, being positive with them as they learn new things. And we do. Even our returning players are taking on new roles. And that's when we talk about a new team, that's what we're talking about. We have some returning players, and I'm not taking anything away from what they did last year, but this year is new for them. They have to step it up a little bit more, and they have to put themselves out there and take on some different roles than they did in the past. But I like them. We're very unselfish. We're working hard. And we're slowly picking up on the things on the defensive end. I think that's where the biggest adjustment has been for a lot of our incoming players.
Talk about those roles that some of the players, some of the veteran players will have, and how you've been able to define those roles, through the course of an entire offseason.
Yeah. Joy Marshall, obviously, she played behind, a senior last year. And she came in and she was still trying to find her way herself. And I think she's done a wonderful job with that in the offseason, knowing that, nope, this is my year, this is my opportunity. And she's expanded her game from not just being a penetrator, or posting up, where she can step out and shoot the three as well. Sierra has done a wonderful job. We've kind of moved her around a little last year, and she found a home this year at the 3 spot for us. And she's going to be one of those players that offensively she's going to be fun to watch because she's so athletic. And then defensively, same thing. She's going to fly around. And then on the offensive rebounds or defensive boards, where she's really made her most improvements, which is going to be one of those areas that we have to keep a tight watch on.
When you look at some of the new players, who do you expect to contribute, and how do you work them kind of into the mix?
Well, we're going to have a starting point guard. Is either we have 2 battling for it right now. We have a transfer in Brooklyn, and then we have a freshman in Jennifer McCoviak. And then we have Ashley Taya, who's kind of a 3-4 that's going to battle and push Joye and Sierra as well. And then, we have another freshman that's going through some injuries right now, but Tia Webb that has a chance to come in and really do some things on the defensive end for us, as well as the offensive end. And she's going to push Lex, one of our seniors, right, to make sure that we can hold our players accountable, which is one of the exciting things as a coach is when you don't have the depth to hold your starters, per se, accountable. They get a little lackadaisical, and I don't think we're going to have that this year because we're going to have players that, nope, if you're not ready, they're right there on your heels, ready to go in.
Yeah, you get a full off season this year, and how much of a difference has that made, in terms of trying to put your own stamp on this program and, having a full year as the person in charge? I mean, that has to make a big difference.
No, it does. It was really enjoyable to get them all in the summertime and start breaking some things down on the offensive end. I think one of the things we have to do to get ourselves in the top end of our conference is be able to score, because our conference is so good. Everybody shoots the ball well. They can shoot it deep. They have multiple players that can shoot it. And so defensively, I think we're right there where we need to be, but we need to add some more offensive power. And I think we were able to work on some of those things in the offseason. So I'm excited to get it rolling here.
Yeah, who do you kind of, I don't know if you design a specific go-to scorer per se, but where do you expect the scoring to come from this year?
I think we have multiple players that can go out and get 20 in a game, which is exciting. The scary part is we still have, that's one of the unknowns. Even though we have players that we think can do it, who's going to go do it? And so that's the exciting thing in terms of the scary thing is, and once we get into it, some of that stuff will come to the forehead of, okay, these are the ones that are going to be able to do it on a consistent basis. So that's one of those unknowns right now.
Last year started great, didn't finish the way you wanted to. What did you learn from that, and what did the team learn from that last year?
Well, I think I personally learned again, you have to be lucky. No matter how things are going, all it takes is one injury or 2 injuries here or there, or bad timing on an injury, and it kind of changes the momentum that your team has. And so practice-wise, we have to make sure that we're doing the right things in practice, but also in our non-conference. I think we got away from some of the preventative lifting that we did to keep our players where they can last all 5 months of our season, and I think that kind of wore us down later on. I think our team learned that it's all about the next game. You know, you can be excited about what you just accomplished that day, but you have to be ready to move on. And we were not able as a team ready to move on from our non-conference into our conference. And we just kind of kept hanging our hat on what we did, not what we were doing.
How do you see the league this year, and how do you see your place in it? You were picked 7th, but where do you see that playing out this year?
You know, the league is tough. We've just been talking about as coaches. We had 5 teams that got first place votes, and all well-deservingly. There's a lot of teams with 3 to 5 starters back. And so it's going to be a lot of competitive games with the rule changes. I think it's really going to come down to 1 or 2 possessions and how you handle those possessions. I feel, though, that we do have the talent and we have the makeup to battle to be in that top 5. We were not put there, obviously, and for good reason, you know, because of what everybody else has back. But I think with the new role that our returning players have to take and how they've stepped up to meet that, and with our recruiting class, our incoming players, I think if we do our jobs, we'll be in that top 5 mix.
All right, thanks a lot, Joe. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good to talk to you.
Yep,
Thank
thanks,
you.
Todd. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.